What's up, fam? Thank you so much for joining us for round 2, where we're going to answer more of your questions. Obviously, if you are seeing this video, it is because you are part of our Inner Circle community, which we are so grateful to have you here.
Yes, we are.
We wanted to rapid fire some questions because there were a lot of questions. I feel like we didn't get to a lot of them during the video.
We did not.
So we got a lot more here.
Yep.
We got a whole list of them. So
let's rapid fire, babe.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. I'm ready to do this. I'm so excited that we can make this special video for you guys.
Yeah.
We have some Oreos that we're just going to be munching on. Joelle has some coffee.
Got some coffee.
Yeah, we're just going to talk and chat.
It's like K&J after hour.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, cool, guys. So let's go ahead, get into the first question. So we're going to try maybe go back and forth answering the questions and try to go as fast as we can. So here we go. Stacy Spencer, shout out to you if you're watching. Stacy said, happy anniversary. You guys are great. Thank you very much, Stacy. She said, enjoy being part of the morning routine. She would enjoy being part of the morning routine. So what she wants us to do. Oh, wait. Okay. Sorry. She said, enjoy you. No. I got it. She said, she enjoys... Sorry, enjoy you being part of her morning routine. Done. The question she's asking is, if you could change one thing about your move to Vegas, what would it be? Do you see yourself moving or trying somewhere new? Yeah, so I'll answer that. I would say, if we could change anything about a move to Vegas, you know, I'll be 100% honest, you guys. I think I would have waited maybe one more year. I know that's kind of a big change.
It's funny because my dad wanted us to wait one more year.
I know. Literally, as we were leaving, guys, Kristen's dad was like, just wait one more year, get a little more established with your channel, kind of take your time. And we were just like, no, we're gonna go. The reason why is because we definitely, I just feel like, you know, with our channel being new, the way that the money works, it fluctuates up and down and stuff like that. So when we had moved to Vegas, like Facebook was like, we're cutting your videos off. We're not showing it to people. So that kind of, you know, caused a little bit of a dip and stuff like that. So that's what I would change.
What would waiting have done though?
We would waited and we would have seen that, the money doesn't constantly just go up all the time. It actually dips down.
Touche.
That's how these social medias work. They're not consistent every month. They're up and down, you know? So that's my answer.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What I would have changed is we didn't see our apartment before we had moved.
Yeah.
We didn't take a trip down here. We were only looking online. And so we based our apartment off of like pictures and everything.
Yep.
And when we saw it in person, although it was still a lovely apartment, we liked it, there were so many things that I think we would have noticed in person and we wouldn't have done. And we probably wouldn't have moved there because it turns out that it was really like bad with the walls. Everything was so thin and the, you know, just neighbors were not as good. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
I would have wanted to see the place in person.
That's 100%.
100%.
Okay, next question comes from Jerry. I'll let you answer this first.
Shout out to you, Jerry.
Shout out to you, Jerry. Hope you're having a wonderful day. She asked, how is being married different from being together as a couple?
Okay.
How does it differ from being together as a couple?
Yeah.
I'll let you answer that.
Honestly, in terms of our relationship, it's 100% the same. And nothing's different in terms of like our love and commitment for each other. But I love having his last name. That's like one of my favorites. So like just society-wise, like being able to, you know, be your last name and, you know, hearing it and it's easy to spell as opposed to my maiden name. Like, so that part's really fun.
Yeah.
I just feel like societal validation,
Yeah.
It has been nice. And I wish that society would validate just long-term couples together as much as a married couple.
Yeah.
But we don't as much. And so I noticed a difference with society.
For sure.
Other than that though, in terms of our love, it's been the same.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for the most part, I absolutely agree. You know, I think one of the first things I remember telling Kristen very early on when we first started talking is, for me, I date this is like high school, right? So it sounds crazy at the time, but it worked out. I date to be with someone forever. I'm not trying to just be with somebody temporarily. Like, I'm thinking long term. I'm like, do I like you enough to want to be with you forever? So because of that, and of course with the way you think too, like, things have always been the same. We've always been very committed to each other, and very just honest and open and everything. So because of that, our relationship feels the same whether we were not married or not married. You know, it's been feeling the same. So, Jerry, appreciate that question.
For sure.
Great question. All right, next question. This comes from Maggie Margaret Thompson Garrett. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Maggie. What a name, too.
I know. It's awesome. She asked, is there an absolute deal breaker for your relationship / marriage? No negotiations, no forgive, and move forward, just over. Is there an absolute deal breaker? Can I go first?
Yeah.
I would, at this point, I would say this. For me, there is probably no absolute deal breaker where one time and I'm just like done.
Right.
There's probably things that can happen over a number of times. Cheating being one of those things that could happen maybe, 2, 3, 4, 5 times where then I'm just like, not even that many times, I'm like
10, 20.
20, 30, like 2 times.
Do I get 19
yeah, exactly.
before it? I'm just kidding.
I know, right? I don't know why I thought it's 4 or 5 times, like 2 times.
No, but I get it.
Where I'm like, okay, this isn't working. Maybe we'll have to change things. Part of the reason is because we've been together for so long. We know each other so well. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, maybe there's compromises for it. Maybe, something else can change. I don't know. But I would say absolute deal breaker, something happening one time and being done. I actually don't think there is. For me? How about for you?
I'm going to say the same thing, babe. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
because we've been through everything, like, the worst case, cheating or whatever. Like, I would want to see if we could work it out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm just coming up with an example of something that's like extreme, right?
Yeah.
But if it happened over and over again and like there was lying and deception,
yes.
And at some point, I wouldn't be able to stay, for the purpose of like, trust is so important in a relationship. So
true that.
Yeah.
Great question.
But no, not just a one-time deal. Like, I think it would have to be over time.
Multiple times, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Maggie, thank you so much for the question. That was definitely a great question.
That was a really good question.
Okay, the next question comes from Susie and Randy Willis. Hopefully I said that right.
Shout out
to the both of you.
Yeah.
She asked, or they asked, have you ever thought about taking a road trip to different states?
Yes, we have.
Yes. Absolutely.
We want to take the show on the road, actually. And ideally, we want to go from state to state to state, stay at some Airbnbs or whatever, and eat delicious food all across the United States and hopefully Canada, too.
Exactly.
So, we definitely want to take this on the road for sure.
Yeah.
We were hoping we could do it next year. I don't know. We'll have to see. Financially, it's definitely would be really hard. So financially wise, and then also just like logistics, it's hard to live as like a nomad.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't do it. It's just you have to really plan and look up things and da. So
that's true.
So I don't know about next year, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I would say it is something that we are highly considering, and will probably be doing within 3-4 years.
Oh yes,
that's something that we actually probably will be doing. Yeah.
Absolutely, no, that's for sure the goal. We have to start, I think, really planning it, manifesting it,
exactly.
Seeing what we need and going from there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So thank you guys so much for that question.
So we'll come to a state near you.
Exactly. And that'd be great too to meet you guys too, Maybe we could do some meet and greets and stuff like that. Maybe something small or something like that in some of these states. So yeah, you guys never know. Okay, next question comes from Vicky Jerome. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Vicky.
She said, what's your favorite thing to do as a couple? And then she also said, I love watching you two. You guys make a wonderful couple. Thank you so much, Vicky, for that. And so what's our favorite thing to do as a couple?
You want to answer?
Yes.
Besides, it has to. Sexy time.
I was about to say.
Would that be on your short list of favorite things?
I mean, honestly, we're gonna keep it 100% real. Obviously, intimate bedtime. That's obviously the funnest thing to do as a couple. Of course.
It's one of my favorites.
Are you kidding me?
Too.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So so that would be number one. But underneath that, obviously, as like a real activity things to do.
Sure.
I really enjoy going to the movies with you.
Me too.
Yeah,
I love movie time with you.
Same.
We have a good time.
Yeah.
I actually, it's funny, although we don't like talk, I feel like we hold hands and we, give each other looks, and he'll like tell me something about the movie during the movie and I can't hear him. And like, what? And then he like yells it in my ear, and then vice versa. And then we like talk about the movie afterwards. Like, it's just really fun. I enjoy it with you.
I agree. I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, we hang out here too on the couch and watch TV or, videos, YouTube, things like that too, which is a lot of fun. But I really like the movie aspect because I feel like it's a date night.
It is. It feels datey.
So it definitely is.
Oh, see, we're on the same page.
We definitely are.
Yeah, good.
We definitely are. So Vicky, shout out to you.
Yeah.
Okay, next question comes from Angela Lamyuen. Hopefully I said it right. It's Lamyuen. Okay. So first off, she said, "Happy anniversary! Thank you so much for that, Angela."
Thank you.
She said to the both of you, of course, many more years in the future. She says, what she asked is, when will you guys do a vlog of your day in the life? Right? And I think a lot of people have actually asked us to do something like this, like day in the life vlog. Do you want to answer this?
No, you can answer it.
You want me to answer it? Okay. I definitely. The reality is we don't have that much going on in a day in the life. I mean,
I don't think that's it.
Well, I was going to say something a little more.
Okay.
In addition to that, we actually would want to record it and actually show you the stuff that we do on the days that we are doing stuff. But what we have noticed is that when it comes to doing those type of videos, YouTube doesn't really push it out that much. So even when we record it, and Facebook as well, it only goes so far. So I think we should do something soon. But to be honest, it's not that exciting most days. Not that exciting.
So it's definitely, sure. It's not that exciting most days, but some days are more exciting than others. My issue is it's hard to be like that type of a vlogger. Like that means that like Jamil most likely is gonna wake up before me because he usually does. He's gonna have to grab the camera. He's gonna have to be like, wake up, and I'm gonna be looking rough, and and then I like to sleep naked, and then but if we're gonna be doing the day in the life, I'm not gonna be able to sleep naked, so I'm gonna have to wear PJs or something. So already that's not authentic. Okay. Unless you want to. No, I'm just saying. Like I'm just thinking about that. You know what I mean? It's like the logistics of the day in the life. Okay, yes, we maybe don't have to do it where you're like waking me up in the morning. Okay. But
first off, this sounds like a porn. This doesn't sound like a day in the life. Okay, it sounds like I'm waking you up to something crazy, and that's not what's going on.
I'm just saying, I just feel like it's hard. Okay, yeah. So I just feel like it's hard to do a day in the life. Like it's a lot to grab the camera for every little thing. Now it doesn't have to be for every little thing. I get that. But already, if we are gonna do like for sure in the morning, it won't feel 100% authentic because I'm gonna have to be clothed. Well, so already, no, I'm serious. Yes. Like it's not really a day in the life.
Gotcha.
I don't know. That's
I see what you're saying.
You have to kind of pose a little bit, if that makes
to an extent, right? Because we don't have to show that part, right?
Obviously.
We can show once you have clothes on. I promise you don't have to be naked while you do this. You can be fully clothed. But what we do is you just say, I woke up maybe about an hour ago. Now I'm about to actually go downstairs and make some food, or now that I'm up right now, I watched TikTok or something, if that's what you do, for 10 minutes, and now I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, so once we start.
Yeah, you could actually do that. You can actually put clothes on first and then go from there.
Okay. Because I was really thinking
the
littler things.
Gotcha. And that makes sense.
Okay, anyways, I'm down to do it. Again, we'll try to pick a day that I guess we could do it. We'll just pick a day that we have a little bit of stuff to do. Yeah. Sometimes we really are just downstairs, halfway dressed, and just doing work, editing, and hearting people, comments, writing people back, figuring out what we're gonna do, and we don't do a ton.
Sure. Yeah. But we will do something like that, absolutely. Angela, thank you so much for your question.
No, so I feel like they're not excited about a day in the life. Trust me, we do other things.
For sure. No, those, I would just say majority of the days, we're probably not doing much, but probably 2 days out of the week, three days out of the week, we're actually doing an actual routine, I would say,
Okay, so if you want to see it,
yeah,
we can do it.
And the truth is, doing these videos is a part of the day in the life. so we can record that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Maybe if we want, because I know how you were saying how like YouTube doesn't push the videos.
Yes.
Which is true.
Yeah.
We could always just send it to our inner circle.
Which we absolutely will. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
We should just do that.
Okay, next question. This one's relatively fast. This is from Holly Sweetberg. Shout out to you, Holly.
Shout out to you, Holly.
Holly asked, how did the merch sales go, and will you do more? So, Holly, thank you so much for this question.
Yep.
The sales did pretty good. Absolutely. We got so much support. So, shout out to you guys. We actually have our merch, by the way, which we actually need to start wearing. I don't know why we haven't worn it in a while, but we will be wearing that. And will we do more? Absolutely. In fact, I don't want to say too much, but we do have some ideas and some really fun things that we are going to be doing with our merch. So you guys stay tuned. That's going to be coming up very soon.
We definitely will have new merch.
Exactly.
More merch. Without giving more detail. But it did go really well. And we did appreciate just like the warm, everybody was like so excited about the merch. And we appreciated that so much. So we are going to launch another version round 2 again in the near future.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Holly, thank you so much for the question. Okay. Christy Marie. Shout out to you, Christy.
Shout out to you, Christy.
She says, if you could change anything from your past, what would it be? Or would you change anything at all?
Deep.
Well, I would start with Kristen. I would not. No, just a second. Anything from the past? Absolutely. I mean, of course you can go down the list. I would say this first. I'm very happy with where things are right now. So would I want 100% need to change anything? No, I love the way things are going right now, you know? However, I definitely understand now that like as you get older, you do get wiser. You do like make better decisions. Like I didn't realize that in my 20s, you know, or even early 30s, but I start to understand that now. So I would take some of the wisdom I have now, go back to my 20s and actually be a lot smarter. I'd be like, instead of rushing to like, because I've always wanted to like do things like music or of course this type of stuff, like something that required like fame to an extent, you know? And I was very impatient when I was younger. But going back, I would tell myself like, hey, just be patient with it. Just stick it out. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. Just do it because you enjoy doing it. Don't do it because you need to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what that's probably the only thing, you know?
I like that.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, there's a lot. I agree with you. Like, I don't have to change anything because I do feel like it molds you who you are today.
Yeah.
You know, that being said, you know, there might have been some times that I would have challenged myself a little more. I think sometimes I took the easier route.
Yeah.
Just with certain life decisions. And I think sometimes if you take the easier route a little too much, you might, you know, doubt yourself a little more. You might not realize how strong you are, you know, courageous. And I think that is something that I have to remind myself a lot now. And challenge myself now. So I would have liked to maybe have had that foundation when I was younger.
That's cool. That makes sense. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, great answer.
Thanks.
Great answer. I like that actually a lot because you don't, you know, all the times you don't challenge yourself, you sometimes look back and you're like, man, you know, if I had just done a little bit more with that, you know?
I would have just there's so many things I can think of.
Yeah, exactly.
That I could have done a harder route, and I think it would have, you know, made me like just more confident, I think, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Christy, thank you once again for that question. We really appreciate that.
This next question is from Tracy Levy. Shout out to you.
What's up, Tracy?
Happy anniversary. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
What are your favorite videos to make versus what are your least favorite videos to make? What do you enjoy cooking for each other?
Okay, cool.
Okay, favorite and least favorite videos.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I'll go. I would say least favorite for me are ones, where we have to eat hella food. Like hella review bites. So I remember the snack reviews. We do have like 20 things to try. Sometimes depending on like doing like the entire appetizer menu or the entire kids menu, I enjoy it if it's not like beyond 7 things to try. Yeah. Once it gets to a certain point, I'm like over it.
Yeah, I agree with you because even taking like 1 or 2 bites really adds up over the course of like a 30-minute video. You're like super full, and the last thing you want to do is keep taking bites, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I could say that. Do you have a favorite video that you like to record?
Favorite? There's a lot. Most of them I really, really do enjoy. I love the mukbangs where we're sitting here having a topic to discuss. Most of the time, not always, but most of the time I like trying the new foods at like the fast food places, especially if it's a Taco Bell thing. I would say those are my favorites.
Those are your favorites?
Yeah, those are fun.
Absolutely.
And mukbangs, yeah.
Yeah, I would say definitely when it comes to least favorite, I agree with you absolutely. Like you guys, you want to take so many bites off of stuff in the video. Like in the beginning, you're like, ooh, this sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah.
We get to try all these snacks or all these appetizers or things like that.
Yes.
Then after maybe, like I said, 15 minutes of eating it, you're kind of like, oh man, it's kind of a lot of food.
It's hard.
So although we still enjoy recording the videos, because we really do, I would say those are kind of the least favorite for that reason. But then I would say my favorite is probably restaurant reviews.
Oh, nice.
I love going to restaurants and trying different things, for sure. So I'd say that's my favorite, yeah.
Like inside of the restaurant?
Not necessarily recording inside, definitely not that. Definitely not that, because that's nerve-wracking, going inside a restaurant to talk, no. But I just enjoy actually ordering something, sitting in the car, and eating and reviewing it.
Got it.
For sure, like if I could, I would honestly want to go to every single Keith Lee place. And just review it.
He's gone to,
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, he's a food reviewer. We've done a lot of his videos where he's eaten at certain places. But I agree. I do enjoy those restaurant ones too.
Yeah. Right on, Tracy. Thank you so much for the question.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay, this next question comes from Breezy Beck. Shout out to you, Breezy Beck.
Shout out to you
so much for asking this question. She says, what is the most valuable thing you've learned over the last 4 years that has changed the way you think or do things? She also said, congratulations on the 4 years. I've been following since the beginning.
Thank you.
Shout out to you. That's what's up. We really appreciate that.
We so appreciate you.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yes, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
The first thing that comes to mind for me, most valuable thing, is to keep consistent with uploading and recording and editing and just do everything consistent. Keep going, because if you stop, then you're not making any progress.
Yeah.
So that's definitely been like so valuable, is just keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep going, keep making content.
Yeah.
And it's really gotten us to where we are now,
For sure. I'm going to piggyback off of that a little bit, because I kind of have a similar answer to that. Definitely being consistent, but also knowing that things are going to not always shoot up straight like a straight line, right? There's going to be some dips in time.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is, in our channel, we've noticed a lot of times where things are going great. We're like, oh, we're unstoppable. And then something happens, like Facebook will pull our videos, like slow them down. YouTube will slow them down, or things happen and things all of a sudden you're kind of like not completely going down, 100%, but just a little bit of like a slow time period. So what I've really learned is just that when it comes to what we're doing and just business in general, there's like dips. There's like dips. There's this book called The Dip, I think it is. And yes.
Yeah.
And it's a guy talking about business and kind of how things work. And there's always time periods where things go up, 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 and then there's like a little pocket dip thing, and then it turns around and it goes up more,
It's a really good point, babe, because we did think that it was going to just keep going up and up and
100%.
up. 100%. Yeah, that's a good lesson.
Yeah, and it also helps you to... It just having those type of things where you work through that, where things are all bad and you're like, oh man, this is over. Yeah. It's going downhill, and then it turns around as you keep being consistent. It just makes you realize, it makes you stronger in your conviction, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And wanting to do what you want to do. Right?
It does, yeah. You always learn from it too when you're in the dip. So yeah,
100%,
it's a good one, babe.
100%.
Yeah.
So Breezy Beck, thank you so much for that question.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna answer 2 more questions, guys, and then we will go from there. Okay. Linda Odell, shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Linda.
She asked, when did you two realize you were when did you two realize you were compatible?
Compatible?
Yes, compatible. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Let me ask that question again. My bad about that, Linda. When did you two realize how compatible you were? That's what I really enjoy about you two. Complement each other so well. Thank you very much. That's an interesting question.
It is.
I would say, answering the question myself, like, I don't know if I ever like put 2 and 2 together, being like, oh, we're compatible. Or I've never thought about that, although it's a great question, because I would say early on, I realized that we worked well together, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I realized maybe after a year, maybe probably like 2 years, that we actually work well together. We complement each other well. You know, we might get into arguments, but we can solve the problems and we can get through this. So maybe a couple years. How about you?
Yeah, I never had like that type of moment of like, oh, we're compatible.
Yeah.
But I think I did realize that like I was gonna marry you.
Okay.
Probably around like year 4 or 5 into the relationship.
Sure.
I really was, because again,
Yeah.
we were really young when we started dating, so I wasn't even thinking about marriage. But I remember when I hit around like 21, 22, I did have that like epiphany, like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna marry this man.
That's crazy.
So I had that type of a moment.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so I guess that answers the question. I mean, it is kind of when we definitely thought we were compatible, you know?
Yeah, yours, I guess we're a little earlier before mine, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Linda, thank you so much for that question. Absolutely great question. We appreciate that. Next question. Shout out to Brian Parmelo.
Shout out to you, Brian.
Brian, I hope you're watching this video. You're awesome. Brian has been around, I think, since, I'm going to say like week 1.
Long time.
Or month 1. Brian, shout out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone who's been around that long.
Yeah.
But he has a great question. He says, if you could reincarnate as a bug, what type of bug would you be?
Ladybug.
Would you be a ladybug?
Because they're pretty. People don't want to kill them. And they bring good luck. They make people smile.
True.
And I just said, yeah, it's really good fashion. The bug has a very good sense of fashion with the polka dots.
That's true.
Very vibrant colors with the red. I'd be a ladybug.
That's pretty good.
How about you?
You know, I wouldn't be a ladybug.
Okay.
It's a great answer, actually, because you're right. People don't kill ladybugs. They really do keep them.
Yep.
However, there's no defenses. Like other insects are gonna just take you out. Like, you have no defense whatsoever.
Okay.
So I would say, I would probably insect. Man, Brian, come on, man. So limited.
What kind of insect do you want to be? You'd want to, whatever has the most defenses.
I would want to be something dangerous. That is so dangerous, people don't even want to kill it because they might be afraid of getting stung.
What's a dangerous insect?
Probably some like type of like. Oh, go ahead. What would I be?
Some type of killer bee.
Yeah.
Hornet.
Oh,
wasp.
the hornets, the big hornets.
Yeah, like the ones that are like really crazy.
Let me be those big hornets. That's what I would be. But see, they die quickly. Hornets don't even last that long.
They don't? Well, neither do insects, I think.
I know. The longest living, I would want to be a long living insect that's dangerous.
Okay.
I don't know, whatever that is, that's what I want to be.
Okay.
I feel like that's the best choice, you know?
That's a good one, babe.
For sure.
I love it.
Okay, really quick. Another question. I do want to answer this. Cynthia Gonzalez, shout out to you. Oh,
yes.
And Brian, by the way, shout out to you for that question.
We appreciate you, Brian.
Yes. So Cynthia asked, what do you love about Kristen, and how did you find to love food reviews?
Aww.
I think that's what she was asking. Anyways, what do I love about Kristen? Definitely a lot. Definitely a lot. If I can just choose one of the things right now, I would say, you know what? I know what it is. Before we started recording, not this video, but the actual food video while we were eating, you guys, I was running up and down the stairs doing stuff, so I was like sweating like crazy. Kristen's like, she, had made all this food, so she was ready to eat, hungry and stuff like that. Some of the food was getting cold, and I'm like sweating, and I'm like, I need to cool off because I'm gonna be like pouring sweat in the video. And, I feel like, most people would be like, oh, come on, hurry, I'm hungry, I gotta eat. But Kristen's like, take your time. It's okay. I understand. Take your time. So, and that means a lot to me, you guys, because sometimes I do take my time trying to get things going, and it doesn't always work perfectly. And, I was very considerate. I told her I'm sorry, and, please give me some time. And she's like, that's fine. That's fine. So I appreciate things like that, I really do.
You're so sweet.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So that's one of the many things I love about you.
I love you. You're very sweet.
Okay, so are you up for one more question?
I am. Let's do it.
This is the last question. Shout out to Jermaine Blanding.
Shout out to you, Jermaine.
Hopefully I said your name right, Jermaine. Jermaine said, let me first start off by saying I believe love is love and it has no color, and I love you guys together. But have you ever experienced uncomfortable moments being that you guys are a mixed couple? Now, I know we answered this before, but I thought this was a good question to kind of answer again in case anyone did miss the last video or things like that. Did you want to go ahead and start, or do you want me to?
Do you have an answer?
I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I would say this. I would say we have been extremely fortunate that we actually have not really experienced any sort of, racism or anything crazy. At least not, directly to us,
Not overt.
Not overt, exactly. Whether something's been behind our backs or we didn't know, I'm not sure. But we've never experienced anything. I would say individually, like I've experienced a little small racism, things like that, people that, are just racist, but not like as a couple, you know what I mean?
A little bit on our channel, like we've had some comments on our channel that have been a little racist.
Sure, but then we even question that, because it's like, some of these people could just be trolling us,
for sure, yeah.
You just don't fully know.
But fortunately, I do think living on the West Coast has really been a blessing for us in our relationship. I know that a lot of people don't have that experience in other parts of the country. And we're well aware of that. Luckily not saying that there isn't racism where we grew up at all. But the Bay Area, California is pretty diverse. There's a lot of mixed races of relationships and things like that. So you don't like stick out like a sore thumb kind of deal.
Exactly.
So I do feel really grateful that it hasn't been anything overt.
No, absolutely. And I definitely agree with you on the whole thing that, like, in certain states or certain places, people do experience that, that type of stuff a lot more. And, one of the things that we've thought about is we want to get to the point where we can travel all around and meet you guys and things like that. But it's something that we're aware of. We think about, okay, well, let's make sure we do research on areas before we actually go, just because, maybe we don't know certain areas, every country, every state, every county and things like that. So that's something we want to do in the future.
I want to piggyback off of that. When we recently went to Illinois for a trip and we were driving, I did think about us being an interracial couple in Oklahoma. I think we were driving through Oklahoma or Nebraska. We were driving, I think it was through Nebraska.
That's right.
And I remember thinking that, I wasn't sure how Nebraska was and And so, just by going in different states that you're not familiar with, that you didn't grow up in, that is going to be a question. So when we do move around, I do think we should be smart and research and just see, it's sad that you do have to think like that these days, but you do. Not everywhere is enlightened and accepting of interracial relationships like ours. So we just say you have to be a little careful.
Very, very true. Very true.
So that's a great question, Jermaine.
Absolutely, Jermaine. Thank you so much
for
asking that
question. Love is love.
Exactly.
We agree.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, I think that's something that we've always thought about, is the fact that, it's not about color. It's not about any of that stuff. It's not about your sexual orientation, anything, love is love. And that's what's most important,
Facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just have to kiss you. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you. You are too. I appreciate it. Yeah. So anyways, you guys, that's for the most part all of our questions. We do have more, but we don't want to obviously record all night, but we will be doing more of these Q&As inside of this inner circle community. So definitely stay tuned. There's gonna be a lot more things coming. We appreciate you guys watching this and hanging with us, and we're just looking forward to the future. We're definitely looking forward to the future.
We definitely are. Lots of good things to come, babe.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, I love you so much.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.
For sure.
Peace out, Trouts.